Well, hey everyone, Jason here at Elorium Technology, and late last year in December, I teased the idea or the fact that our parts are now being listed at SnapEDA.com. And I ran this short video, we posted it on Facebook, and we put it on our YouTube channel, things like that, just to kind of give people the update that our parts were going to be there. Now, this was early in the process and things were still getting kind of fleshed out in terms of the specs, but I want to do this follow-up video because I think this is awesome. I think the SnapEDA platform is great. And as a product supplier, someone who supplies embeddable modules, this is incredibly valuable for me for one very primary reason. There will be multiple reasons, but there's one place where this is super valuable that I want to talk about. And I'll get into that as we look at it. So the whole idea of this video is that I want to spend just a couple of minutes giving a high-level overview of their platform. Now, full disclosure, I'm not in any way an expert on SnapEDA right now, and so this is going to be a little bit of me learning at the same time. Now, obviously, I've been looking at it as I've been working with their team, getting things set up and getting our parts on there, but I haven't really spent a lot of time using it yet, at least not too much. So I thought we could kind of do that together. So let's jump into it by taking a look at my screen. Now, the first thing you want to do is go to snapeda.com. And I have to tell you right away, one of the things I love about this particular website is that this cool graphic over here kind of looks like a Fender Jazz bass, just a little bit. It would be flipped over looking at the back side of it, but I'd be really interested to know if the designer that came up with this had that in mind. And that's a good start, because I like bass guitars. But this is a fairly early place to digress from the original content, other intent of the video. But anyway, go to snapeda.com and you'll see right here that you can learn a lot about the platform and what they're there for. But essentially, the whole idea behind SnapEDA is it gives you as a designer, if you're doing a schematic design, coming up with whatever your product is, one place you can go to get library symbols to pull into your PCB designer, to get 3D models and kind of all the information you'd want about any parts you want to use. Now, they don't have every part in the world here yet because they're a relatively young company and growing, but I thought it looked like a really great place to have our parts, particularly the ones that are designed to be embedded on their platform so that designers can find us and pull our components into their schematic design, because a couple of our boards are designed to be embedded just like any component that you would have as part of your design. So the first thing I want to do is show you how you could use this. So if you are not a user and you don't have a login account, you could simply come here, and if you want to look for our parts, you could type Elorium, and we don't come up in the quick search yet, and that's fine. If you hit enter, you will see right at the top, you'll see the two boards that we have listed. Now, we have the Evo M51 board is one of the modules that we have, and the other one is our Snō board. And it looks like, as I look at this now, I could probably serve them up with a higher resolution image for the Evo M51. That would probably fix this problem, because if we look at the Snō board, you can see this really nicely. We can take care of that. The one thing I'll say about the SnapEDA team in my experience so far, so if you're looking at this from my perspective, like a company that has modules or you have components, they've been super great to work with. Very responsive, very helpful. The process of getting our components into their platform has been a really good one, and they've been extremely helpful. So it brings up our list, and let's start by looking at the Snō board, because this is the one that right now, in terms of a number, it's the one that's been out that we've had for the longest period of time of the two. And it's one that frankly is getting a lot of use right now as an embedded module, that people are buying this board and they're putting it down into a carrier card of some kind or building a little daughter board for it. And so one of the things that you can get right away from it when you come into this page is you can see the symbol, and you can look at the footprint. And if you scroll down here, you can get a little bit more information about it. Looks like I think they have some information about our board, and you can get pricing and distribution information. So they've got our distributors listed here and where you can buy it. So that's really valuable. So if you're doing a schematic design, you want to use our board, you've got everything here that you need in order to be able to pull it in. And the thing that's really great is that you can just, if you click here to download the symbol, I mean, they've got a truckload of formats that you can get this for. So whether you're using Altium or KiCad or Eagle or whatever you're using, they have all the formats right there. and you can simply click it and download it, and you can have that symbol. Now, one of the questions you may be asking yourself, if you are a design engineer, is, well, yeah, that's great, Jason, but how much is it going to cost me? Well, the answer is zero. So if you're a designer, it doesn't cost you anything. And that is one of the amazing things about this tool for you, potentially as a designer that wants to use our hardware, is that you can come here and just grab a footprint, and you'll have not only, you know, the symbol that you can put into the schematic tool, you can also get the footprint for it. You also, and this was the part I was alluding to earlier in the video, you can get the 3D model. This is huge because we've had multiple times where we have customers, we've got a handful of customers now that have designed and developed some relatively big projects where we have a lot of these boards being put onto carrier cards, mezzanine cards, being put into other parts of a system. And very often they want to be able to model the 3D aspect of it as well, so they can do their 3D modeling. Well, we never had those directly available to give out. We could export some stuff out of our PCB tools that could then be pulled into other 3D modeling tools and turned into what they wanted. But now we have the ability to point them to SnapEDA, where they can again just download this 3D model. So if we take a look here at the, whoa, it's very sensitive. I'm scrolling on my mouse. If we look at our board, so this is the 3D model of the snowboard. We can also add dimensions, so we can see the dimensions. So let's see what happens when we hit full screen. Okay, so like I said, I'm learning along with you. Let me see how I can figure out, no, don't want to go that way. Here we go. So you get the dimensions in this direction, you can get dimensions, you know, and the thing is obviously the components are fairly coarse, right? They're not an exact replicate of the components. And one of the things I'd have to look at is I think they're all the same height right now, which obviously isn't true either. So if you were looking at stack up inside of a enclosure or something like that, that's something that's not there quite yet. Now, it's entirely possible that these 3D models might be able to be taken to that point where those things get a lot more detailed, and that may be one of the services they offer. Again, I'm learning as we go along, and my intention here is I wanted to introduce this in this video, and I'm hopeful that there'll probably be a follow-on where we get into more of the details as I learn more about this service as well. But I think what they've done so far already is just incredibly valuable, not only to me and to us at Alorium Technology, but also potentially to you or other designers that might be using their tool. And so looks like we can go over here. Let's see if we click on the data sheet, if that takes us to the right place. Looks like it probably will. And yep, so it takes us to our website, and from here you can click and you can go grab information about our board. We'll go back to SnapEDA. Essentially, this is a great portal to get information about our hardware, and they have all this information for Evo M51 as well. In fact, let's just go and check it out. We'll see if we can get there with that. Yep, we'll click on Evo M51. I actually haven't, I requested a couple of little tweaks to their team earlier this week, and again, very responsive, extremely helpful, and I haven't really poked around a whole lot on it too much since that happened. Let's go full screen on this one and see if we can, yeah, so again, it does look like, you know, the dimensions in terms of the height, those aren't necessarily true to form, because obviously if you look at, you know, this is an actual Evo M51 board that I've got right here. That's what we're looking at on the screen. And these plastics on the end, right, are a lot taller, you know, than what we're seeing here in the connector. Now it's represented here in terms of the location of it, but it's obviously not the right height. Now, again, probably something we can fix, and based on my experience so far, I'm guessing we could get the help we need to make that happen, or maybe that to take it to that level is something we need to do more on our side. I'll learn more about that as we go forward. Nonetheless, this is incredibly valuable, and even if some of the customers that we've done this with in the past, where we've had them, they've designed their own 3D models, even though we've only given them something of much less resolution than this coming out of our PCB tool, they were able to take that into their solid modeling tool and add, you know, do the additional tweaks to get the actual sizes and dimensions that they need to really make it work with what they're doing. And so being able to just guide them and point them in this direction is really, really cool. I want to just do a quick download here. Okay, so here's where if you go to do a download, you have to create an account. Now, I already have an account, And so it brings up my account information, which I've obviously blurred out in the screen because it's not necessary for that to be visible. We'll just go back up back here. But anyway, that is the update that I wanted to share with you. If you are using our hardware and you are wanting to design and put it into your product, which again, we're seeing more people do this with Evo M51 and Snō. And man, I'm tempted to launch into a value proposition talk about why you would want to do that. But I'm not going to do that in this video because I talk about that in other places. Come to SnapEDA and check this out because I think it'll really make it easy for you to integrate our hardware into your design and get the information you need from a symbol standpoint, from a footprint, 3D model, a lot of information about it, where you can buy it. And it's not just going to be ours. I mean, if you poke around on their site, they've got truckloads of components that you'll be able to do this with. And I would ask, if you do it, let us know. How did it work for you? Does it make sense? Were you able to use the symbols that come out of there? Because we want to make sure that everything is working correctly. I know SnapEDA wants to make sure that everything is working correctly. And I think they've got the beginning of a really fantastic platform here. And I just wanted to give them a little bit of promotion because I'm very appreciative of what they've created. Again, it benefits me, it benefits you, and I just wanted to make sure that I shared it. We teased it almost 2 months ago, and really the delay had nothing to do with how long it took to get the process of getting this stuff onto their platform was really quick. Just had some other things come up internally on my side that's prevented this follow-up video. That is it. It's a Friday afternoon in February. The weather's going to get cold here in my neck of the woods in west central Wisconsin this weekend. And for those of you wondering what does cold mean, cold means like sub-zero temperatures on a regular basis for most of the next week. And that's sub-zero Fahrenheit, by the way. So that's cold. But that's the way it is. Been that way ever since I lived here, and I guess I'm not expecting it to change anytime soon. Hey, if you have any comments about this, if you have experience with SnapEDA, if there's something about this that doesn't quite meet what you need, please let me know. Drop it in the comments, either on our YouTube channel or on Facebook. Probably post this there as well. Or simply shoot me an email at support@aloriumtech.com and you'll hear from me. You'll hear from one of our support engineers, something like that. We'll make sure you get you the help that you need. We'd love to see people using our hardware more in their embedded products and making it as easy as possible for you to do that. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Look forward to talking to you again very soon. Take care now. Bye.